Hi, I wanted to show you this junk journal that I made. Actually, it's the very first one, and I'm really proud of it. I got instructions on YouTube, and I really like the way that it came out. So let me show you all the cool things that are inside. First of all, I made this in, actually it's not really a journal, it's like just a little pamphlet because I wanted to start small. And what I did was use some scrapbook paper, and I was debating on whether to fancy up the cover, but I really like this. It's got glitter in it and it looks kind of mysterious. So I just decided to leave it alone. I used some washi tape to just reinforce the back so that it wouldn't rip, and I used organza ribbon to tie the whole thing together, and I think I might put a little sticker or something over that so that it kind of hides where I sewed the pages in. And it's also got little owl charms here hanging out of the bottom. And these were actually Tim Holtz charms, which I really liked, and they're wise owls, so I thought that was really fitting for a fortune teller book. I used seam binding to tie the book together, and I sprayed it with some walnut ink, so it kind of looks a little moldy, which I like. So we open up the book, and inside is the first page. I used a file folder to stiffen up the scrapbook paper, and I think that worked pretty well, and I folded over the outside just to, I don't know, make it look a little fancy. And plus that was the instructions that I saw on the video, so I decided to follow those. So what I have here is a lot of these are my own graphics. I do sell these on Etsy. I have several fortune teller collage sheets for junk journals available, and if you're interested at all, I'll leave my shop link on the end of the video. But anyway, the first page has a really cool little astrology chart with cards, and this is a graphic that came from an old fortune telling book. Now this was, I have to do this one a little bit better. This is a tea-stained tag that I put together. I just stamped the outside, folded it over, and glued it to make a little pocket. And inside is a blank fortune card that you can write your own fortune on. And that goes right in here. Next time I'm going to use a different kind of tape. One of the learning things with this journal is that I was trying to figure out how to glue what together. So I think on this one I'm going to use a different kind of tape or a different kind of glue to fold that up. Just a little fortune key that goes right in here. Now this page I really like. This is a Madame Zanto fortune teller. This is a nice big graphic that I stuck here. And this is a pocket, and I just put a little bit of lace over the edge to make it look a little fancy. And inside I have two little cards. It's just, they're white on the other side. They're just prints that you can write stuff on, maybe your own fortunes. And this is a little fortune card. It says, no storms in the forecast, the weather is clear, your fortune is certain, you'll have a great year. I like to have good fortunes in all of my stuff. You don't want bad fortunes in your fortune telling books. And this is one of my graphics. I made this up. This is Madame de Mauvais. Famed psychic, explains the past and predicts the future. She continues to instruct students in astrology and divination. Okay, the next page. Oh, and by the way, these pages are made out of Tim Holtz scrapbook paper. I really love his stuff. It's just so cool. It's very vintagey and it fits my style really well. On this page, there's a lot of stuff going on. It's kind of visual overload here, so I'm not quite sure how I feel about it, but I wanted to include as much stuff as I could. This is just a little fortune teller graphic that I just glued in, and here is a file folder. I have a folder punch that I used to make this, and this is just from a tea-stained tag. And on the inside there's a little fortune. It says, the early bird doesn't always get the worm. So that means it's okay for you to sleep late. I'll put that in there. See, this goes in a little easier that way. And this is a little envelope punch that I used, and oops, sorry about that. And this fortune says, patience may be required. It goes back in. Now in this pocket, I included Mysteries of the Future Revealed from Bismarck's Answers. This again comes from a vintage fortune-telling magazine, and I scanned it and just kind of altered that a little bit. It's blank on the other side, so you can definitely write on that. And I included another kind of aged piece of paper, blank. It's just a print because I don't really have a lot of antique ephemera that I can use. Most of my stuff is digital. And this comes from a fortune-telling set that I made. It's kind of like a magic 8-ball. There's a set of, I think I have 12 cards, and they all have different messages on them depending on whether they're right side up or they're upside down. So I stuck one of those cards in here. Now this is a trick-or-treat bag. I found this at Michael's, and it's got a skull on it. So the skull top is here, and the skull bottom is here. And I used walnut ink spray to color this, and I also tea stained it. And inside this is one of my tea bag covers. This actually does fit a tea bag. You can stick one of those large, what kind do they sell? I think it's Bigelow that sells the foil wrapped tea bags, and those will fit in here. But because I don't know what kind of tea people like, I decided to just include a card instead. This is Famous Fortune Teller Tea, and on the back there's a little poem. It says, pinch of leaves go in the cup, boiling water covers up. Steep the leaves for minutes 3, sip and then your fortune see. So in there I have a little fortune teller lady, so she slips right in there. And this goes right back into the trick-or-treat bag that I included. Now on this page we have a little ad for Madame Fortuna, Oracle of the Ancients. I made this graphic too, and it's one of my favorite ones. On this page also, I have a tripod here, so I don't know if I can get this in closer, but I have some more of those little envelopes. This envelope, I use my envelope punch, and do I have it right here that I can show you? No, but I do have the folder punch that I bought. This is a McGill punch. I'm not sure whether they still make them anymore, but that's what I used, and I can't really seem to find my envelope punch here, so I'm sorry about that. But anyway, this envelope has a fortune in it. It says, don't tempt fate, which is always good advice. And this envelope right here has a fortune in it that says, bold action brings reward if one is careful. I think the hardest part was trying to make up the fortunes for these little things. And one thing I really like about this page is that there's a little secret underneath the doily. The doily was tea stained, by the way. And I don't know if I can get this up here to the camera. This is a hand of fate. This is also one of the graphics that I made myself. It's just from an old hand. And on the bottom I wrote in fortunes, it says, the fates see success ahead. So on the other page, we have the same doily, but let me get to these first. I have a little pocket right here that I cut out, and right here we have the fortune teller. This is from an old postcard that I scanned, and this is also read the fortune in your hand. This comes from an old book, blank on the side. Oops, some grunge there, sorry. And under here we have the second hand that says, shadows will lift, be happy. And this is just glued in. It's from an old Oracle card set. So I'm going to put these things back in here. Now, this is where I tied in the pages. I wasn't really sure that the organza ribbon was going to work, but I really kind of like it. Alright, on this page, so you can get a full look, the All-Seeing Eye, Palms Red, 50 cents. And that's blank. All of these are blank on the other side. Fortune telling by cards. And this was from a scrapbook paper set that I bought about 2 years ago and I never used. In fact, that was the same set that this came from. They had a whole bunch of cards in there that you can cut out. So I just cut one out and I put this card in here. Now on the other page, I think this is one of my favorites. I made a little pocket out of paper, and on the inside, this is a fortune spinner card. Again, it's blank on the other side, but this came from a postcard that I scanned. And the bottom part of it used to have your birth date astrology, but I kind of cut it short and I put a spinner on it. The spinner doesn't spin really well, so I'm going to have to fix that. But you can actually read your fate. One of them is, let me see if I can see that I have my glasses on. You are very self-reliant. Another one is hard work is distasteful to you. That's funny. And there's a whole bunch of other ones in here. So this goes right back into the pocket. This is just glued on. This is just an old spinner, an old vintage spinner. It says, "What the stars say, read your destiny." And this wasn't actually made out of metal, and these are all the zodiac signs. And I'm not sure whether a little booklet came with this to kind of interpret stuff, but I don't have that, so I wasn't able to scan it. Yeah, and I like this. I put a little pointer finger in here, and this holds another fortune card or fortune strip, and it says, "The fates will be kind." Yay. We like to hear stuff like that. So this is the other side of the trick-or-treat bag, and I just cut the bottom off using some decorative scissors. And this is another one of my designs. This is a fortune teller envelope, and I'm not sure, I think you could probably fit like a Lipton tea bag or something in here if you wanted to make a tea bag envelope from this, but it was just originally meant to hold fortune cards. So I have a witch looking into the book of fate with a wise owl. And then on the other side, it says, "Learn your fate. Your fortune can be found inside. Open and be mystified." So you open that up. And this, obviously, the glue didn't work on this. I used a glue stick, and that I'm going to have to just go in and use some different glue. And inside, there's a fortune card, and it says, "When the moon is in the sky and the black cats wail, the fates have spoken truly that your luck will never fail." And that goes back in here, and that closes up. And that goes back inside the little bag. Well, there's more stuff on this page. This is the Mystic Test Book. This came from an old vintage booklet, the Gypsy Dream Book. And I have a copy of a cover on the other side that I'll show you. But this was the inside. And it was an advertisement for fortune-telling cards. So here, if you can see it, I have another little folder that I made from some scrapbook paper, and the fortune in here, even though it's not a fortune, it's just a little bit of advice. It says, "Always choose love." So if you have to make a decision, always come from love. This is a little tab that I made, and I stuck in, this actually came from another postcard. This was a fortune teller postcard, and I altered it a little bit. It had a different message on the bottom, but I altered it to say "Prosperity awaits." It's the 9 of diamonds. And that comes right in here. I guess this suit of diamonds in fortune telling always meant fortune or riches. And this is another one of my graphics. This is Madame Xanto. Black Cat Medium Services, a channel to the spirits, and you can write on the other side. And I also included a tea stain tag, again, you can write on. And this is the last page. Right up here is a picture. I really love this. This came from a postcard, and I don't think I can get this any closer to the camera, but it's a picture of a lady dressed up as a gypsy, and she's reading the fortunes of some high society ladies. This is the Golden Wheel. This is a copy of a book that I actually own. It's the Golden Wheel Fortune Teller and Dream Book. These were really, really popular around the turn of the century. There were lots of different fortune teller books that were sold. This is Fontaine's. This is a copy of the cover. So in here is another fortune that I made, and this says, "The question you ponder, the answer you seek will make itself plain by the end of the week." So this will work if you need to make a decision right away. And this is actually a copy of a cover of one of the Gypsy Fortune Teller books. And these were published, I think, whether it was seasonally or on a yearly basis, but there's several different old fortune teller books out there. They're all dream books, and they have dream interpretations, numerology, all kinds of fun stuff inside. And this is just an advertisement that I found, and I just copied this. It's really old. Fortune telling by cards, how cards are read by fortune tellers. This was a book. So this goes in here, and again, these are all blank on the side so that you can add your own writing. And the last page has a gypsy who looks like she's pondering your fate. And in this, I have another fortune. It says, good luck will always follow you. And another fortune that says, don't make hasty decisions, which is always good advice. And then I have a blank card. I don't know if you can see this because it's kind of bright, but this is kind of an aged card that you can journal on, and it's blank on the other side. Let me just put the little fortune back in here. And this is a phrenology chart. I don't know if I can get this any closer, but you never know when you need to read the bumps on somebody's head, so I figured I'd stick that in there. So, and then what I did was I just folded over the edge to attach the seam binding, and then it just kind of ties up like this. So that was my first attempt. I do, like I said, sell a lot of these images, and I hate to self-promote, but I really want you to know it's there if you want to make your own stuff. I haven't gotten all of these images in my shop yet, but a lot of them are, like this one is, and this is in a collage sheet for junk journals, and there's some other ones. This is part of the set. This is part of the set. And these do come with a limited commercial use license, meaning you can buy them and you can make your own junk journals and sell them. So I hope you like this. I really had a good time making this, and I hope to be able to make a lot more, but I'm kind of proud of this for my first attempt. So thanks for watching, and there will be more to come, I promise.